Hello, everybody. This is Ryan, your head coach of the Draco Meteorologists. Wanted to do something a little bit different, kind of create a little bit of a team builder preview and stream our match here this upcoming week. Um, we are currently in the NBA Season 4, which is run by none other than Booty Flute or the Hotmons. I will link his YouTube in the comments below. But basically, yeah, let's just get started. So this week we're playing against Keegan or the Seattle Starbreauxs. Keegan's got a pretty good team. When we did our initial team builders here and then our rankings, I actually had him ending in first place for the best team. He's a little bit newer, hasn't been around for super long just yet, but I thought that he put together a really strong team overall. So in this league, we ended up doing a low tier league since that's why you see Staraptor as being his best Pokemon here, a tier 1, and then all the way down to tier 5, which are the Terra Captains. So not going to be seeing those Great Tusks or anything like that. But yeah, so for this week, I like Keegan's team into mine pretty well. A lot of what my team wants to kind of do is I only have a couple of threats, relatively defensive, and I kind of pivot around and slowly chip people away until I can end up killing them with, one of my main threats, which would be Clawitzer, Palmot, Delphox, if I run an offensive Torterra set, or if I ended up doing something like a weakness policy Petrarunt. But yeah, so I thought Keegan's team matched up into mine relatively well. The main things that I was worried about was his team is relatively faster than mine. If we kind of look at the speed tiers, he has three people that outspeed or two people, sorry, that outspeed my entire team in Regieleki and Staraptor. Both Pokemon that I think are going to come. Realistically, when I was doing some mocks with some of my friends, I thought some really good Pokemon into me were going to be Staraptor, Swampert, Sinistcha, Regieleki, Umbreon, and then Bombirdier was pretty good. I could also see something like Tinkaton if he's afraid of the Terra Dragon Pulse, which he doesn't have any other resists for. So I could see that being a check for that. However, I didn't see it doing too much other than setting up rocks and maybe clicking Gigaton Hammer here or there. Because I do have this week Delphox coming in that's going to be doing a lot of damage, as well as you're kind of forced to bring in your ground type as well, because Keegan has Regieleki, one of the best electric types. So I had a couple ways to deal with that. But anyways, I was kind of getting into it, and I didn't really know what I wanted to do. So we'll just kind of start from the top bottom here. So this week I've got my Petrarunt, obviously my number one pick here, with Shadow Ball, Recover, Malignant Chain, Parting Shot, very defensive set, and with heavy duty boots. I don't have any way to get rid of hazards this week. I'm not too afraid of the rocks because most of my team resists it, or I threw on boots for it. So, and Keegan has sticky webs, which I don't think he'll bring because I thought Lavenny looked really bad otherwise. And then no way to set up spikes. So I kind of said, screw it. If I get rocks on me, I get rocks on me. But yeah, so otherwise that's the Petron set. It's going to come in, do its checks. Swampert cannot two-hit KO on me unless it's like a Life Orb or a Choice Band set, which is really scary because my next Pokemon is Mandibuzz, which these two Pokemon kind of Mandibuzz is probably the best Pokemon to have with Petron because all Petron's weaknesses, Mandibuzz resists, or it's immune, such as that ground type. So Mandibuzz, again, relatively defensive set. I'll be completely honest, I don't exactly know why I had these EVs. I think it was just trying to be a little bit mixed. I know I did it for a reason. Forgot what it was. So we're just going to stick with it. My team got deleted. I saw that I copy pasted it. I did it for a reason. Forgot what it was. We've got Toxic to throw up some Toxics on most of his team, specifically Umbreon. I think I'd rather be Toxic in front of Umbreon. Obviously, they have the Synchronize, so that could be something. Otherwise, nothing really wants to come in here and take a Toxic other than Tinkaton and Glaring Slowbro, which I can U-turn out. Sinistcha is somebody that I feel like can set up in front of my face really well, potentially even with a substitute, hence why I have the Whirlwind, and then Roost again just to heal a little bit more. Next, we've got my Registeel. Registeel is going to be my fake fairy type. This was one of my last picks of the draft, and I do not have a fairy type on my team here. And it was basically to be like, you know what, this is going to be my Dragon Check. And Dragon Check, it really is. The Noivern and Draco Meteors are going to be doing maybe 20%. to this Pokemon. I've got Resto Chesto as my way to kind of recover, and I really don't see anything touching this other than Blaziken, which I don't think looks really well this week. Even a Staraptor, close combat is not going to be doing too much unless it's banded, which I don't have that set on. Ice Spinner here, it's basically going to check the Sinistcha. It's going to come in, click Ice Spinner, which is going to be a 4-hit KO if he's just max HP. He can have some defense in bold, and then it'll take a little bit longer, which will be a little more scary, but hence why I have, Manabuzz here to click Whirlwind if he ends up setting up and making it scary, because he doesn't have a move to hit this either. Thunder Wave, again, to just slow some of these things down. If I'm able to Thunder Wave a Staraptor or a Noivern, especially if that Staraptor is +1 from a Choice Scarf, that'd be awesome. My high-end threats like Palmot here, as well as my Delphox, are going to be able to outspeed that. Next, we've got a Palmot. Palmot just looked good into majority of his team here. I definitely am afraid of taking any sort of hit and dying, as you do with this Pokemon, but it's got a good speed tier. It only gets outsped by Noivern and Regieleki, and I've got Volt Absorb to be that secondary just in case my Torterra ends up falling early, where I can bring this in onto a Regieleki, heal a tiny bit, and he would have to then do something like an explosion or whatever into me. And if he does that, then that's fine. But yeah, otherwise I've got knockoff for the Sinistcha, close combat for the Umbreon, which I think looks pretty good this week, as well as it's just a great stab move. Good into Swampert, good into Tinkaton, which is neutral. Regieleki as well. Seed Bomb, obviously for the Swampert, quad effective, and then Supercell Slam. I think it's scary to bring in Swampert. I'm probably not going to click this willy-nilly most of the time, but this is kind of my riskier thing with my Palmot set this week. Next, I've got my 2 Pokemon that I prepped a lot with that I think are going to be really sick. So let's start off actually with our Torterra. So Shell Smash, Earthquake, Stealth Rock, Rock Tomb. Seems a little bit normal-ish, right? Shell Smash, yeah, this Pokemon gets Shell Smash. But I would normally have this a little bit more aggressive, maybe a loaded dice set. But I decided against it because there's something that I saw on the ladder that was really sick, which is clicking Shell Smash with an eject pack, and you jump out, and then you click Copycat in front of it. So basically that is what Torterra's job is. It's going to set up Stealth Rocks. It's going to be scary it's going to be a very easy switch into Regieleki. I'm max HP and defense, where last week Keegan ended up going max adamant attack acrobatics into the why can't I think of this Pokemon's name right now? Brambleghast, there we go, against Riley, and ended up OHKOing there. So I wanted to make sure that I could live at least 2, and I wasn't super caught off guard, and an Earthquake would end up killing it back if he ended up staying in. But other than that, Rock Tomb is, just in case I'm not able to get that Shell Smash off, which is very possible. It's a good move for those flying types that can come in, which he has 3 of, actually, as long as Bombirdier doesn't tear out of it. And then Earthquake for a normal stab move, which is going to be pretty good into the rest of his team, like Glowbro, Tinkaton, Blaziken, Regieleki, and things like that. And then finally that Delphox, which is going to be hopefully my main sweeper. If I can get this thing in, this is going to be doing some mad damage. Copycat for that Shell Smash, Flamethrower to basically OHKO everything, and same thing with Stored Power. The one Pokemon that does live 2 is going to be Umbreon, and that is why my Focus Blast is here. So that Focus Blast is basically to make sure that if he ends up being like, I can switch into this Pokemon and live a couple, I do need to make sure I hit a Focus Blast to kill it. And as long as he doesn't have an attacking move, I was kind of afraid of foul play, especially when I'm going to be +2 attack, hence why good. Glad I checked this. I am mid-attack as minus IVs as I possibly can get, so it's going to do the least amount of damage, where I should be able to live 1. Well, that was actually with a Colbur Berry, so never mind. So any of that will basically kill me, any dark move. But otherwise, this outspeeds everything, including a Timid Regieleki, as long as it's not scarfed, and it outspeeds anything that's in a scarf. So this thing's going to be an absolute menace if it does end up getting there and set up. That's basically about it for this week. Let's see how it goes.